Has anybody see this Mr. McMahon documentary?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
Yeah, I watched it.
I watched some of it.
I watched some of it.
There's no new information in it. Everything I ever saw on there, I've seen before.
Yeah.
There's no
So
new
Yeah, I
information.
agree. I was expecting a lot more, like some new dirt or something, but it was something, we already knew. We knew this information. It was just, talking about it again. It
so
was good. It was a good watch, but it wasn't anything new that I learned from the documentary.
the
Yeah.
one thing I liked about it, okay, because and here's the thing, it's interesting, is okay. The reason you didn't find anything new is because it was Vince led, right, and it was when Vince was back after he came back right before, and so as they're filming before they even really even get to press Vince a lot, that whole thing with Janelle Grant or whatever happened, and so a couple things I like about it is one, they didn't turn it into a hit piece. They kept their original objective. Two is it's interesting to see, knowing that knowledge, his responses, and it's interesting to see how much he's lying through his teeth and full of himself and this and that. It's interesting to see that perspective. And most importantly, because it's in between where he was kicked out and then came back and then left and kicked out again. So you could see certain people, a lot of people were like, I don't want to say nothing. But a lot of people were like, you know, I'm gonna say something and I'm gonna talk bad about him. Fuck it. You could see those shifting tides in that time in history already showing where people were like, we don't even want him back. Why is he back? Type attitude. And that's cool to see. That's what I liked about the documentary, is
Yeah,
putting in that retro perspective,
sure.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think to my opinion, man, it didn't change my opinion on Vince.
At
Vince
all.
was, yeah, he was like one of the greatest showmen of all time, greatest promoters of all time. He's up there with Barnum and Bailey.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, he fails at everything else but wrestling, but who the fuck cares, right?
Right.
Uh, I forgot he did the Muhammad Ali and the Japanese star over there. Um, that was a closed circuit event. And then also, listen, he's a powerful guy with powerful money, with a lot of money at the time, and he's a freak, right? I mean, he's a freak. So he did some things that were wrong, that were
Yeah.
frowned upon, that people, and people with that type of power do. I mean, we're seeing it come in the forefront. He's not the only one that did it. They thought
Yeah.
they can get away with shit like that back then. And the only reason why he got caught is because he stopped paying the money to these people. So
Right.
this has been going on for a long time. Hey, listen, he's the greatest heel of all time. It's Vince McMahon. He survived the Monday Night Wars. You got to remember he was a
He paid
self-made.
he paid more money for sex than he did WCW.
Yeah. Hey, the cost of living, man. This guy fucking, was a self-made billionaire, and he had to go up against a conglomerate. The whole Turner Broadcasting fucking
Yeah.
station.
Well,
Yeah,
not
and
only that,
he had people wanting him dead because he took over all the
I was gonna
territories
say, not only
and
that,
created
that's a
a global
conglomerate.
phenomenon in WWF at the time.
Yeah. So
Without
he,
Vince McMahon, we wouldn't have what we have now with WWE and then like all the other companies and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
but you gotta
So he
say, like,
he definitely
he's
went up and took on the conglomerate that is the territories, and then he went on and he took on the conglomerate that is Turner, and then he just keeps he doesn't like they said it a lot, and that's the thing, is Vince sees competition and decides he's gonna kill it and eat it.
He's a great competitor. You know,
But he hates to compete.
yeah, he just smashes the competition. You know, and so here's another thing too with him. You know, I always got a creepy feeling from him, right? Like he's got when they were telling his backstories about him living in the trailer and his mom sexually abusing him, and then you see what type of freak he is now with all the indictments and shit like that, and then you have his weird storylines, um, and it's I always
He
I get
just
like
has a really, really weird sense of humor too. Like
yeah he does yeah
he
he
has
does
He's a real sick
he has
bastard.
like the sense of humor of like a teenage boy like
yeah.
who just hit puberty. That's his sense of humor when it comes to his storylines and everything.
Well, he says he was sexually assaulted from his mother.
Yeah, and that happens to abuse victims. They stop growing up, they stop
And
maturing.
yeah, usually it's from whenever they had that trauma, they get stuck at that age, that mental time frame. But um yeah, he's and hypersexual too, that's another thing, when you're fucking, touched as a kid.
Yeah,
Um
yeah,
so uh yeah, it was it's wrestling, man. I mean, that's this. There's so much lore behind it,
yeah.
and it's just that's what makes it's a car. It's like a fucking traveling show, man. It's a carnival, man. It's fucking creepy. It's weird. You don't know a lot of things. We still don't know a lot about Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
You know what I
very
mean?
eerie, very eerie, very secretive, very just like you said, think of a carny. Like you don't know shit
Yeah,
about these guys. You don't know if
yeah,
they're
His
living in a
his
swamp
whole life
or
is the
yeah.
WWE plus all of his freaky shit that he does behind the scenes.
yeah, it's like it's puts the lotions in the.
Like when was the last time you think, other than probably now because he has a lot of time on his hands, when was the last time you think he actually sat down and watched like a movie or something that's not
Right,
WWE related?
right.
Like
He
that dude
literally
is,
he doesn't
pretty
want to do
fuck. He's
anything
fucked up, but he's one of the hardest working people. Like, cause he lives and breathes WWE.
because that's all he wants to do. He wants to
He didn't
be
even. I
and
know
be
he
the
didn't even
best.
want to sell WWE. He only
Hell no.
sold it because some shit came out.
And the most normal one there was Linda McMahon. I mean, I'm just that's
for,
she's like
for real.
she was always the most normal, and she actually looks younger, but not like Vince, where fucking he looks like a fucking he's wearing a Halloween mask. You know, I mean, fucking guy is looks like shit, man. All them steroids
I
he
was gonna
did,
say that's what the steroids do to you.
yeah. Because he was used
Um,
to be swole, man. He was swole as hell, and then now he looks like an old man. And I
he
remember
walks with a
seeing him.
cane.
Yeah, I remember seeing him one day. I felt like he was normal, and then I guess he went away for a little bit, and he came back, and he was like completely different. He a
Bro,
fucking
when he
guy
came
couldn't.
back for that first like 8 months, 9 months, he was gone. He
Yeah.
just totally transformed into the villain, the mega villain. He was like, you know,
Well, he turned into like a bag of bones. Is like, what are you
dude,
doing?
if he stopped
Yeah.
working.
Holy
Yeah,
shit, man. Got off the juice. Got too old
yeah,
to take the juice.
that's what it was. Well, he had a bunch of surgeries at that time too. So, but speaking of hellacious harmony, um, this is our main event, boys. Now, recently we saw Bad Blood